Houston has so many different communities, and I know it's difficult to even figure out where to start when it comes to your move. There's hundreds of master plan communities, and there's tons more that they start building every single year. So I know a lot of people wonder, how the hell do I even pick the right one? Well, in this video, we've got the six most exciting communities that are coming up in 2025, and the last one is going to be a complete game changer for Houston, so be sure to stick around for that. Now, before I talk about all of that, my name is RK Rossos with the Community Warriors Real Estate Team. Now, we've sold hundreds of houses here in the Houston market, and if at any point in this video or another video you decide that you're ready to have a conversation about your move, just click the first link below and let us know what you're looking to do. We will have a free consultation and a conversation about your plans to move. Now, for the first one, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have been here plenty of times, and I've talked about it on this channel before, and I find myself not even being able to go a week without having a conversation with someone about this community, or even going out to the community to show a client myself. But with that said, I've actually had a lot of people ask me if it's too late to buy in this community, because a lot of people have already moved into here. And sometimes it can feel like you're a little bit late to the party and you don't really want to buy at the top or buy a little bit late, right? But here's the thing about this community. I really don't think that they're going to be slowing down, and that in 2025 is going to be a very big push for this community, and it's going to be a great time to buy. And that's why I think Sun Terra is still a great community to move to this upcoming year. So we have talked about Sun Terra on this channel a couple of times, so you can definitely check out one of the videos just to have a deeper dive of what's available, what the community is, and what other builders that we have. But let's give you a little bit of an overview of what that is if you haven't seen that video. Now, Sun Terra is in North Katy. It is going to be comprised of houses that are going to be in Katy ISD mostly, and also a section that's in Royal ISD. So just keep that in mind depending on where you're looking. One of the big things about this community, it is a 2,300 acre community, and it is more like a resort style master plan community. And you'll understand what I'm talking about in just a bit. In this community, there are a ton of builders. And that's why it's very popular. There are 24 different builders. Now, I'm gonna actually read this off because I don't remember it. There's Anglia Homes, Adams Homes, Ashton Woods, Beezer, Brightland, Castle Rock, Chessmark, Colina, Davidson, D.R. Horton, Empire, Highland, History Maker, KB, Lennar, Longleg, New Home, Pulte, Shea Homes, Starlight, Terrata, Tricoast, Village Builders, and Weston Homes. And there's also 3 other builders that are building to rent. So it is there's a ton of choices out here, and it's a really great option if you're looking for variety and affordability. Just this past year, they had actually finished their lazy river and clubhouse, so one of the big amenities is already done. And one of the main reasons that I think this community is still going to be a really great one to move to in 2025 is that the Crystal Lagoon is actually going to be done. Now, what a lot of people don't realize about Sun Terra, and I'll be honest, I've contributed to this, there have been a lot of delays when it comes to this giant amenity, the flagship, the most important amenity, and the biggest sell point for the amenity, for the community, is the Crystal Lagoon. And I have been telling people, because they've been telling us as realtors and our team, that the Crystal Lagoon and this giant amenity feature was going to be done since 2023. The hype has kind of been stifled and soured because a lot of people bought in this community. Just to put it in perspective, people that we've sold houses to, unfortunately, they bought here and they've been waiting for this amenity feature to be done. Now, their HOA dues are lower because the amenity isn't done. But at the end of the day, a lot of people bought for the sake of having this really, really cool feature in their backyard, right? With all that stigma, the hype around this area kind of died down. But what's gonna happen when this Crystal Lagoon is actually gonna be done? You're gonna see a ton more marketing around this area. You're gonna see a lot more events. You're gonna see a lot more realtors talking about this area as if it never really was there, or people that didn't even know or understand what this was, because this is the biggest sell point. and a lot of people are going to start moving again into this community. You take a look at places like Balmoral, which we've actually visited, or places like Lago Mar, and you see that the lagoons here in the Houston market are massive attractions. So no, I really don't think it's too late to buy in this community. In fact, this is really going to be the last push to get in here before things get a little bit pricey. So I think, it's still a place to move to, and it's still going to be one of my top to recommend. Now, before I talk to you about the next one, I want to talk to you about a little story. Now, as a Houstonian, I am a big supporter of the Texas Renaissance Festival. Well, if you're a Houstonian, you know what I'm talking about. We get to throw tomatoes at people every single year. I get to eat a turkey leg, maybe two, some fry food, and sometimes I'll dress up as a pirate. But every year that I make that 45-minute drive from my house, there is this little patch of just trees and empty land. And I always think to myself, are they ever going to do anything with this? I mean, it's been years, like since I was a kid, that this has been empty land. And it's a very kind of high traffic area when it comes to that time. Well, they finally decided they were going to actually do something with it. Todd Mission, the city where all of this happens, is about to change with the arrival of a new 5,700 acre master plan community called Colton. I will be very honest with you, there is not much information about Colton, but I am very excited because 5,700 acres, I mean, to put it in perspective, that is almost the size of Cinco Ranch. It's huge. It's really big. So, and there's a ton of just empty space. So you're not gonna have to worry about all the different infrastructure and development issues that you would get from a lot of places that are already kind of congested with other things. Now, what we do know about the developer area is that they are known for their success stories. Now, there are two communities that they have built in the Houston market that I would consider as some of the top ones in their areas. If you were looking to move in a southwest suburb of the Houston market, odds are Aliana was in your top three. An area development actually developed that community. Aliana, it's amazing if you're not familiar with it. And if you're considering moving up to, let's say, the north side, so like Conroe, Woodland, Spring, mainly the Conroe area, odds are Artavia was one of your top choices as well. And they've also developed that. And that's why I'm really excited about it, because they have a very strong track record of building some really cohesive and cool projects. There's 5,700 acres. I really like that 500 acres is dedicated to mixed use development because there's not too much in the area. They are able to build out kind of like a little town right there. Just to put things in perspective, you're in between Houston and College Station where Texas A&M is at. So it's very high traffic because there's a lot of flow in and out. And you might even open up to a different market than what you're used to, because you might even have some of the people that are in College Station or around that area choose to be a little bit further out from the college feel, and this is a suburb of that. So you're kind of in between the two. It's zoned to Magnolia ISD, and there's a lot of plans to even build some on-site schools in this community. Like I said, there really isn't too much about what they're bringing. We don't know what builders they're really going to have there. We don't know what type of amenities or even the style they're going for it. But knowing where it's at, I have a very strong feeling it's going to be very similar to what they've done at Artavia. And at Artavia, they've really integrated the natural kind of setting and environment of that area. There are really nice tall trees, and I think they're gonna go for more like kind of a campgrounds, kind of lake and cabin feel. So I'm excited to see that they're gonna have a lot of integrated trails in the woods. They're gonna have these giant expansive lakes and amenities that connect in these really cool ways. I would love the idea of maybe, let's say, being a homeowner and you get on your little paddle boat and you paddle boat all the way to the pier or the middle of the lake house where there's a little cafe there. You grab your coffee and some donuts and you take your little paddle boat back and walk to your front door. That would be amazing. And I think if anyone was going to do it, they are already doing something very similar at Artavia, and this is just more of a blank canvas where they can really play around with some really cool things. So why I think it's going to be one of the tops, like I said, It's 5,700 acres. It's huge. They're going to do a lot of stuff out there. The city itself already has this nice small town charm that is very inviting and embraces the people that come in. So I think the residents are going to be very open. I think the city itself is going to be very open to a lot of really creative ideas that we're going to see a lot of things that we're not used to seeing. So I'm excited for that one. So before I talk about our third one, I want to share a little story about a client of ours. We had a relocation client come from LA. Okay, so they hit us up. They wanted to move out to Katy. A lot of people choose to move out to Katy, but here's the thing, coming from LA, they wanted to find something that had the feel of Katy, maybe even Katy itself, that you had really great schools, you had that more suburban feel, you had really built out amenities, but also kind of stay close to what they're used to in LA, which is being close to the beach. And to be honest, you're not going to get that in Katy. A lot of people don't realize Katy is almost 2 hours away from Galveston. Depending on the traffic, it is 2 hours away, right? So we wanted to start looking at maybe some southeast suburbs that are very comparable to that. And there's a couple, but what you end up finding is that there's a lot of smaller single builder communities, or there's communities that kind of are like Katy. Places like Lagomar in Texas City. That place also has a lagoon, but it's very close to the beach. Well, ultimately, what ended up happening is they ended up going to Katy. Not that they were completely sad about it, but it's just very difficult to find that blend, which is why I'm really excited this upcoming year for Legacy in League City. So Legacy is 700 plus acres of what they're calling as a modern ranch living master plan community. It's being developed by Hillwood Communities, and you should be familiar with a couple of the communities that Hillwood has done. So places like Pomona or Valencia in the kind of our southern suburbs over here. And these are two amazing master plan communities, so great track record for them. Now they just broke ground recently, and they're really starting to push to sell this upcoming year. There's going to be 10 different builders in this community. You've got Coventry, Drees, David Weekley, Highland, Partners in Building, Perry, Shea, Village Builders, Weston, and Beezer. So really great builders. I would say you're going to be in kind of that middle range of builders. This is going to be almost the semi-custom. Most of them are going to be within that range. You got a couple of the production builders like Village Builders in there. But overall, really, really great blend and mix of builders. All of the houses are going to be zoned to Clear Creek. So I'm pretty excited about what they've got over here because you're going to be very close to the coast and you're going to have a ton of access to the amazing schools in the area. But here's the real reason why I think this place is going to stand out the most. So League City is going to have that small town suburban charm that you're looking for in a lot of the other suburban areas with some amazing schools. Also, again, you're close to the coast, so you're offering, I would say, the best of both worlds. But they are building a 100 plus acre regional park in the area, and it seems like League City itself is really excited to be able to advertise this and to use it for a lot of their residents. They haven't had something like that. They're also going to be doing a lot of infrastructure changes, like adding additional roads. They're going to be connecting the parkways. So really, really great changes for the city. And they don't really show it here, but it looks like there's about 30 acres or so of commercial mixed-use space that they're going to be leasing out to give access to a lot of the new residents in the area. I mean, League City is already pretty well developed, so they're not going to have to do a ton in the area, but it's great to know that right at the entrance of your neighborhood, you probably got a gas station or a dry cleaner or a salon that you can have access to that's a bit closer than anything else. In this area, there really aren't that many non-single builder communities. And there, if you want to buy in here and be in the same school district, a lot of the time you may even need to buy an older home that has much older amenities. So if you want a southeast suburb with brand new homes, top tier schools, close to the coast, this is going to be the number one place that you should look out for. The next one really reminded me of when I heard of Harvest Green back in like 2018, 2019. A client of mine mentioned it to me, and I went to go look it up, and it was kind of crazy just to kind of see what they had going on, right? They were building a farm. They were having kind of like these shops and this farmer's market, and it seemed like a self-sufficient community that they were going to build houses around, which was kind of crazy to think about, right? Fast forward a couple of years to now, I mean, it is now one of the most desirable places to live in the Houston area, not even just the southwest suburbs. Then after that came a place called Jordan Ranch. We had that on our channel. Then a place called Cross Creek Ranch. That also came up. And then finally, now we've got Cross Creek West, which is going to be one of the next communities that I think you really need to take a look at in 2025. All the communities that I mentioned are all developed by Johnson Development, and they are known for their iconic communities, and they have a very strong track record of building amazing developments. In here, they're going to have an on-site elementary school that's going to be built for this upcoming school year, so 2025. And there's already a couple of builders that are out there. So you've got Perry Homes, Weston Homes, you've got Lennar, Newmark, and Highland Homes. So it's a good blend of builders out in this area. They haven't really mentioned all of the other different retail that they're going to have in the area, but knowing Johnson Development, they do a great job at building the development around the residents and keeping that in mind. So I'd anticipate a lot of conveniences, things like childcare facilities, things like other dry cleaner salons, gas stations, good conveniences that should be a really nice plus for all of the residents in the area. So if you are looking for an affordable community that really fits the lifestyle and want to know that the end product and development is going to be a really nice blend of everything that you're looking for, I really believe that Cross Creek West is going to be a great choice for you in 2025. Now this next one, I honestly was gonna put it as my first choice if the last one wasn't there, but really serving the community is a very big part of why I do what I do. It's in the name of our business, the Community Warriors. And I love being able to serve the community through the power of what we do, which is real estate. And that's why I'm so excited for this next community. It has been in the works for years. I have been following it for about 4 or 5 years. And finally, they started selling their first homes. And next year is going to be the start of even more houses on the market. So I'm very excited to talk about Robbins Landing, which is going to be one of my top choices this upcoming year. So I talk about serving the community. Well, so the reason why I am excited about this one is because this community is a little one inside the northeast part of Houston. It's the only one that we have inside the city of Houston. It's 127 acres. It's kind of a mixed income community, and it is being developed by Houston Habitat for Humanity. So yes, the nonprofit Habitat for Humanity, which is really cool. So the builders, of course, are going to be the Houston Habitat. And there's going to be 2 other builders. You're going to have Chesmar and Castle Rock, who we've also highlighted on the channel, which very, very popular style of floor plans. I love their products. So it's great to see that. But what about this makes this a community-driven community? Well, it's a mixed income community. So all of the Houston Habitat homes are going to be focused more on low to moderate income and be really focused for affordable housing. On top of that, you're going to have a very wide mix of different types of houses. You're going to have single family houses, you're going to have multifamily houses, and you're also going to have some senior living homes, which is really cool to think about. The 2 other builders, Chesmar and Castle Rock, are going to have a lot of market rate homes, and a lot of their houses are going to be still very, very affordable. Right now, they're going to be in the mid 200s, so it's not that it's a large stretch. I mean, they are very affordable for the area to be very, very close to downtown. I think it's about 10-15 minutes away from downtown. What I really love is that their amenities and facilities focus is going to be community driven, and also there's going to be a lot of nonprofit hubs in this area. So TXRX Labs has this nonprofit hub for their makerspace, so TXRX Makerspace. So what is TXRX? TXRX is a place for creators, artists, innovators, trades to really focus on their craft. There's a lot of educational aspects. It's a nonprofit that can allow access to tools for these people, which is amazing. Next, you have Trees for Houston's Tree Farm. You've got a public library coming up. You've got childcare facilities, you've got other clinics that are being built around that area. So there's going to be a lot, and it's going to be a big focus on community driven and community engagement and a lot of necessities for the people in this area. So why I think it stands out is, one, it's the only one that I'm highlighting in the city of Houston, because there's not really that many that come up in Houston. And they are going to be redefining a lot of this part of Houston. Because it's not only going to serve just the residents, but it's going to serve a lot of those people in Houston. So I think what they're doing is great for the community, and the price point is going to be very, very difficult to beat. So I'm really excited to be able to highlight this on our channel in the future. And now for the last one. So when I think of suburban living in Houston, there's a couple of different communities that come to mind, right? Think about them yourself. If you're from here or you plan on moving here, you're probably thinking places like Bridgeland, places like Cinco Ranch, places like Siena. And what these places have in common is they are like their own cities with their own economy, with their own DNA and makeup that really define what the community is about, right? I have a lot of clients that tell me, I wish I could live in Bridgeland, but it's so expensive. I wish I moved there a bit sooner. And that's why this next place is so exciting for me. In 2025, we are about to see the birth of something amazing, very similar to like Bridgeland being started. And that's why I'm so excited for Austin Point. Mark my words, Austin Point is going to be one of the most talked about new communities in the entire Houston area for the next couple of years to come. Let's talk a little bit about Austin Point. So Austin Point is a 4,700 acre community on the southwestern part of town. So it's going to be in kind of like the Richmond Rosenberg area. And it's a development by Signorelli Company. And we've highlighted a Signorelli Company development on our channel before, but none like this. So they plan on building 14,000 homes in this area, and they intend to have 50,000 new residents move into the city, nearly doubling the population of the entire town. I mean, it is a huge claim. It is something that we really haven't seen in a very long time. Now, recently they broke ground and they've already announced the builders that they're going to be bringing. Big fan of the builders that they have. So they're going to have Ashton Woods, they're going to have David Weekley, they're going to have Perry Homes, Beezer, Dries Custom, Weston Homes, Castle Rock, Newmark, and William David. And so a lot of these houses are almost going to be in the kind of semi-custom or even custom range. So these are going to be some really, really nice houses. I'm so excited to see what the model homes are going to look like when they have them done. On top of that is a lot of the infrastructure pushes that they're going to have. So the Grand Parkway is going to cut directly through Austin Point. So ease to getting to where you need to is it's going to be very easy. So Grand Parkway and Fort Bentall Road is going to be all intersecting this entire neighborhood. So it's going to make it pretty easy to get to some of these places. Some of these master plan communities, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it takes a minute to get to one of the main roads. Like to get to I-10, it takes you like another 15 minutes to just go down stoplights and stoplights and stoplights on back roads. But for this, you're gonna be cutting straight through with these toll roads. And this is one of the big reasons why I'm very excited about this. So they have dedicated 1,600 acres solely to mixed use. And I mean, we're talking from 4,700, they're using 1,600 of that for mixed use. And in a statement, they said their push is going to be for corporate relocation. And just imagine if a big corporation decides to move their headquarters into the Houston market, that's who they're aiming to bring out to these areas. So when I think about the future of a place like this, I think about the places that are right next to the HP headquarters, right? And you think about how many new jobs are going to come to this area and where the property value is going to go and how much is going to be invested in here. And if I were to have to make a move down and out of the city, I would love to be out here as early as possible so that way I can reap the benefits of being in a place this early. I mean, the big reason that I am so high on this is that they're not just going to slam a ton of houses over there. The careful thought to dedicate that much to mixed use means that they're going to have a lot of retail, they're going to have a lot of office space, they're going to have a lot of amenities and facilities. And really, instead of just creating a giant like park for a bunch of houses, they are really focusing on developing a master plan town. And in 2025, I think they're going to make a very hard push. And this is going to be one of the best places to watch out for in 2025. I am going to be very excited to be able to highlight this when the model home parks are done and when more news comes out about this. And if any of these homes have interested you and you might be interested to know some of the best strategies for your move this upcoming year, you should probably watch this video right here.